Hi everybody, and happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, so we're almost there. Today we will start out by going over our agenda as usual, but I'm sure you guys are starting to catch on to the routine. You're going to watch this video, you're going to read a chapter. Today it's going to be chapter 8, and then there are a few questions after chapter 8 that you'll answer for me and turn in. So let's start out by talking about chapter 7. Chapter 7 was a good one. So in this chapter, there are a few mysteries that are still lingering. And one of those mysteries is Jem's pants. So yesterday I told you guys we'd find out a little bit more about that. And today, or yesterday when you finished reading, you found it out. So his pants, he ends up going back to get them, and they are hung over the fence, completely fixed and cleaned and everything like that when he goes back to find them. So him and us are kind of left wondering, who did that? Who fixed those pants and who hung them up on the fence and everything like that? The other mystery is the items in the knothole of the tree. Hopefully you guys found all 5 of them. And the kids are pretty sure that Boo Radley left them. We're not exactly sure. You guys might be thinking he did. We don't know for sure yet. But we're kind of left with those mysteries at the end of chapter 7. The other part of chapter 7 that's really important, I actually want to reread this little excerpt from it for you guys. And it's just on the last page of chapter 7 before you get into chapter 8. I have my book at home. So this is at the end where they've already found the items in the tree, and Nathan Radley ends up at the end of the chapter filling in that tree hole with cement, which is kind of a weird thing to do. I don't know why you do that unless you really had a reason to. And he ends up telling Jem, well, I filled it in because the tree was dying. I had to. And so at the end of the chapter, it says, Jem ends up asking his dad, is that tree dying? And his dad says, why no, son, I don't think so. Look at the leaves. They're all green and full. No brown patches anywhere. And then Jem says, it ain't even sick? His dad says, that tree's as healthy as you are, Jem. Why? Mr. Nathan Radley said it was dying. Well, maybe it is. I'm sure Mr. Radley knows more about his trees than we do. Atticus left us on the porch. Jem leaned on a pillar, rubbing his shoulders against it. Do you itch, Jem? I asked as politely as I could, so this is Scout talking to Jem. He did not answer. Come on in, Jem, I said. After a while. He stood there until nightfall, and I waited for him. When we went in the house, I saw he had been crying. His face was dirty in the right places, but I thought it odd that I had not heard him. So, Jem starts to cry and get upset and uncomfortable when he realizes, and he asks his dad, and he realizes that tree is still alive. So one of your questions from chapter 7 was, why do you think that Nathan Radley would fill in the tree, and why is Jem crying about it? And hopefully you've kind of figured out, and if not, we'll talk about it now, that he didn't fill in the tree because it was dying. He filled it in for another reason. And it might have something to do with keeping Boo Radley trapped. And Boo Radley, we know, is kind of trapped in his house, like physically. He, as far as we know, he's not allowed to leave his house. And there are other ways of being trapped too, though, which the book is starting to bring up now. So think about other ways that you can be trapped besides physically. Like, you can kind of be trapped in your own mind, or you can be trapped by not being able to communicate with other people. And some of us might even think that's even worse than being trapped physically. I mean, even now with our situation, yeah, we have to stay inside, but we're allowed to talk to each other. You know, I'm allowed to make this video to talk to you guys. You're allowed to message me if you need something. And so that communication with people is so important, and we all need it so much. And that's kind of what Nathan did to Boo, to his brother. By filling in that tree, he cut off his communication with the world. He cut off Boo having even a little bit of communication with the children. So that's something to think about for chapter 7. Now, in chapter 8, you can expect to hear about a tragic event that ends up happening to one of the neighbors. And I'll give you a hint, she's actually my favorite character if you remember who she was. So I'll look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow about it.